Alright, hey, Jeff here. Round two of Jeff's Easy Chair Talks. Nice name, my new chair. Anyway, I want to do a round two actually of my Black Friday sales. I got another package that came in the mail. I only think I have three, and the third one is due tomorrow. So since I know there's going to be more in that than this previous one, I want to go ahead and knock this out. Plus, I had some other things I found at the thrift store. So one of the things, okay, so this is the order that came in from Girder Music. And this first thing is actually one of the limited run vinyl. I've done quite a few of them before. This is the Christian label Girder Music, and in conjunction with, Rox Records, Retroactive Records, they've been doing a limited run vinyl of various older classic Christian metal and rock albums from yesteryear, some of which have never been on vinyl, some of which haven't been in print for long decades. All of them are remastered. They're beautiful 180 gram, and they're very limited pressings. Some of them 100, 150, 200, just small amounts. And I've been jumping on board of the majority of them. There's only a couple that were a little heavier stuff that I probably wouldn't listen to as much, though my collective aspect, the collective person in me, is making me second guess passing over on them. But anyway, for now, I haven't bought them. This one just came in, Magdalene Big Bang. Now, Magdalene is a kind of, I don't want to say it's a super group, but sort of it's got Ken Tamplin, who of Shout, his own band Tamplin. He's done stuff under the solo Ken Tamplin. And then it's got Lanny Cordola. Now, Lanny Cordola played with House of Lords. He was in Jesse's band on Full House. I saw him on an episode of that. He was one of the members. He's played with a lot of different groups and stuff. He's just a phenomenal guitar player. He's done some solo work. Him and Ken got together and did this. And they only did this one album, though there were two other Magdalene releases after this. It wasn't really the same band, and they dropped one of the L's and called it Magdalene. It was just a little different singer, no Ken Tamplin, and it was just a different feel. Good stuff, but not the same band. This is the only one they did. Just top-notch, energetic, melodic metal of the day. You might call it, hair metal. It's not really like sleaze metal. It's more like just melodic hard rock. It's just a phenomenal album. And I popped it on. Well, first off, let's take a look at the actual color of the vinyl. All of them tend to be this kind of a swirl pattern. So, it's kind of a slate, bluish, grayish. All of the limited run vinyl come in these, polyline black sleeves. It's just, here they are. It's, yep, Lanny and Ken. And anyway, I popped it on, and this was never on vinyl before, so I've only had it on CD for all these decades. I think it came out in the 90s. And of course, just the warmth of the vinyl, the kick and bass, things that you don't always hear on the digitized version. It just was immediately noticeable. I just was like, oh, I have loved this album for so long, and now I have it on vinyl, and it sounds so great. Anyway, Magdalene Big Bang. It is out of print. It is sold out. It went pretty quick. From here, I'll cross over into a couple CDs I got. Because, it was a Black Friday sale. He had a lot of items that were marked off. So I picked up some things that I had just not caught up on. And the same as the last video, I picked up some things in that case too, where, it was just some things that I had passed on or hadn't got a chance to get around to. And this is, since we were just talking about Ken Tamplin, this is Ken Tamplin's album here, one of his solo albums, I don't know, third or so later on. And then this is the third and last Shout album. Girder Music, part of the Legends of Rock series, has released the other two Shout, and now we got this one. And this one has bonus tracks, which I have yet to listen to. There's 3 bonus. This was already a humongously full album. It had like 13 tracks on it. Back in the day, I'm like, man, this album never ends. Not that I'm complaining. Now it's got 3 more. And then this is just a phenomenal album. And he's released a couple other things by them. I just haven't I think there's one more by Tamplin that I haven't picked up. All right, moving on. There were a couple albums that I'm not even going to talk about there. They were strictly filler. He was selling things for like $4, and they were brand new albums, and it was stuff like Carmen and DeGarmo and Kia. It's pop Christian stuff from the back in the day. Bands that I have stuff by, so I figured I'd fill them. And I'm not going to show you that though. Anyway, this is the other thing I got, and this is in my last video. I showed a death metal single, and somebody's like, "I'm surprised you're showing that." Well, now I have a death metal album, and the reason I got this a long time ago when this first came out, which I don't know, more than a year, maybe 2 years ago. I gave it a listen. I guess I had gotten access to some other tracks before, to consider, and I listened to it. And there's all kinds of death metal and stuff like that. Now I don't really don't like much in what would be considered black metal or that kind of stuff that's like there's no vocals, you don't even hear the vocals, it's just noise and it's screechy. I don't like that kind of stuff. Death metal, when it's like a real low growl, I have to be able to at least decipher some of the lyrics. Well, this was one of those bands. I mean, it's definitely aggressive in death metal. Maybe I'm getting used to it, but I can still understand what he's saying. And so when I saw this on the album, and for $4, I jumped on it because it'd been a couple years since I listened to it, and for some reason I just thought I'd check it out. When I got it, he had it priced for $30, so he was definitely lowering stock. And I popped this thing on, and musically, it's very much like just a cool, like thrash metal almost. It's not like real fast and crazy. It's like it was just really good grooving thrash, and then when the singer kicks in, it wasn't totally undecipherable. It was understandable to a degree, and so I got it. And the band is, and I never can pronounce it right, Demonis Sudith, Demon I Sudith, Demonis Sudith, Enemy of Satan. It's from Vision of God Records, same as the label for the little single that I showed last time from Ceremonial Sacred, which I forgot to mention the name. But anyway, this is probably, I would have to consider this my first. I don't know. I have the Vengeance albums, but this is really more of a modern. This is like a recent release, more of a modern thrash death metal. So this is really my first album. This is one of those ones that I'm only going to be able to listen to in my house when nobody's around, because nobody's going to want to hear that. All right, that was about it on the Black Friday stuff. Like I said, I did one more CD. Cleanse Soul, kind of a bluesy, cool bluesy outfit band. Quite a few videos ago, I showed where I had received. They put out a 7-inch single, and I bought that, and I really dug it. This came out before that a couple years ago, 2017, so I went ahead and picked it up. He had run out of these when I bought the single, so I had to go back and get it. And it's pretty good. It's just kind of a independent type bluesy Christian rock metal, borderline bluesy metal. All right, so yeah, that was all, and there's other albums I won't show. So it was a little bit of stuff there. Tomorrow I'm getting a box from Rocks, and that's Rocks Music, and that's going to have more in it, so we'll cover that another time. Now, yesterday went to the same place I went to Record Store Day Black Friday last week. Went back, and they had moved a lot of stuff into the $3 bin since the last time I looked. And I immediately what caught my eye was the Saga album, the Images at Twilight. This is their 1979, 79 release. Now, of course, if you're not familiar with them, I believe they're a Canadian band. This is from Canada, but I'm pretty sure they're Canadian. They're prog, more commercial than like Yes or something, but they're considered a prog band. They have a bunch of albums out, and I think they still put out stuff. You may be familiar with them if you were around back in the mid 80s, 81, 82, early days of MTV, and they played a video by them on MTV all the time, on the loose. Guy jumping over jail wall and he's running away. Lots of keyboard. I wouldn't say it's very prog. More, they kind of went more pop on songs like that. Anyway, I had picked up that album, I don't know, months ago. I think I showed it, the one with On the Loose on it. So I figure I'd grab this. This is one of their older ones. Listen to it. It's not too much different. Same type of vein, keyboard oriented, kind of poppy, at times proggy. So it was great. I figured for $3 I would get it, and then right next to it they had Behavior, another band, another song by another album by them. I want to say this is I looked at it the other 85. So this would have been after, and so I think it's probably a little more commercial than after they became popular with On the Loose and stuff. Interestingly enough, I saw this band live. I'm almost 100% sure that they opened for like Kiss or some other metal band. It was so many metal bands back in the day, but it was somebody like Kiss or Def Leppard or Crocus was there. Quiet Riot, Iron Maiden. I want to say it was Kiss though, because it seems like I remember seeing them. I don't know. It was one of those bands. It was really not a fit. All right, then I kept flipping. Now these are the first. These are the first albums I've ever owned by this band ever. This is really the first time I've ever heard this band, except those songs that you hear on the radio all the time. So when I think of this band, I think of just one or two songs that everybody's familiar with on the radio. And none of those songs are on any of these albums and I've seen people show this album. It's probably one of the most popular albums by this band. And I didn't have it. They didn't have it in this set. They had all kinds of ones around it. But this is the first time that I bought anything by them. I thought, I know they're just kind of a 70s hard rock. What I've heard I like. Check them out. I mean, Nazareth. I've never owned a Nazareth band. Back in the day when these guys were out, I wasn't into them. They weren't heavy enough. They weren't rocky enough. I just never got into them. So this is the first one I got by them, Expect No Mercy. This is 1970. There it is. 1977. So the one that everybody has is Hair of the Dog, which is 1975. So this is a couple albums later. This is Close Enough for Rock and Roll, another Nazareth album. And I figure I grabbed that. This is 1975. I assume, haven't checked this one out yet. I have to assume that's live because it came out the same year as Hair of the Dog. Playing the Game, Nazareth, another one. Went ahead and grabbed that. Figured it would be a nice hard rock stuff. Loud and Proud, the oldest one that I bought by Nazareth, and this was like 73. This one I put on pretty early on, and it was pretty cool. I like this. I dig this. So got me some Nazareth albums, and then this is I never owned any albums by him, but everybody loves Ted Nugent, right? So I picked up this. Oh, the Nazareth albums, as usual, I picked them up. They were in pristine condition, great stuff. And so I thought it was worth it just to check them out in very good condition. All right, so then Penetrator by Ted Nugent. Almost in great pristine condition. Looked really good in the store. I brought it home, and it looked like a little dirty. It could really need a cleaning, but it was in really good condition as far as the cover. I mean, the cover has no ring wear. It is maybe just a tad on the back. Anyway, and Intensity in 10 Cities. Not the two most popular songs, but it's the beginning of the Nuge, of my Nuge collection. I know a lot of people, I know Scott, a lot of other people are big into Ted Nugent. I think, most all of his stuff in some digital format or not, but I've never really bought any of the physical products. So they were there, and like I said, it was inexpensive, and it was worth going ahead and picking up. That was about it. That is about it. Yeah. So, like I said, I got some more stuff coming in tomorrow from the Black Friday. I think that's going to be the last package. And, yeah, it's supposed to be here tomorrow. So I will be showing that at that point. That's all for tonight, though. Just some fun stuff. Most of the stuff at the record store that I bought in the used bin was probably the highlight. Of course, having the stuff from Black Friday and just getting some stuff to fill some spots on my shelf that were in my collection is always great. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. Come back later. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff, hit the bell, all that stuff they talk about. And I will check you out next time in the next day or so. Thanks a lot, and rock on.